Good morning, guys. We got to gap up today. Fuckers. You know what? They couldn't even wait for it really sped up just about 10, 15 minutes ago. We could have used these points right there. You can see we've already gone with the red to green on the market. So you had a week open pretty much all of pre-market. You're starting to get goosey. They got some kind of peace talks potentially going on today too. So it'll probably be it could be a little bit of a grinder of a day. And you've got like this kind of, see right here, the daily chart, you've got like a nice, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 day, range break. So this is the hourly chart on the Qs. So your range is really coming back from like the 17. So maybe about 2 weeks worth. You can see here, right? Like you just set yourself a little doohickey here. So we've got some upside on it, but it's gonna be really hard to chase a 1% gap. You're gonna have to wait for a pullback today and see what's going on. It's been a clusterfuck the last few days, like at the open too. So just like kind of be mindful, like for example, like yesterday, there was all the zigzagging going on at the open. So it's like everything looked like a long, then it looked like a short, then it looked like a long, then it looked like a short, then it looked like a long. And then by the end of it though, it just started to grind and everything just ended up. It's like you look at everything by the end of the day and you're like, damn, that was a lot of range. We're gonna have ourselves a little bit of a grinder today. The gap kind of takes, when you have a grind day like that, like ideally you want a week open in a red to green. You can take the trades in the pre-market. That's not really my thing because the liquidity is not there. Not like a 1% gap. We'll have to wait it out or just wait for like ORBs or some kind of pull on that. But there's like a lot of earnings plays. Let's take a look and see like what kind of news plays are running around. And then from there, we'll take a look at just some general market stocks and we'll get this potty going. My guess is today's a clusterfuck. So, try not to grind your balls for too long. There is spec money flowing around. And so that is telling you the health of the market. So when you think about like whether the market is shaping up or not, first thing you want to look at is like market breadth. And you can start to see like we're getting an increase in market breadth. If we're looking at the percentage of stocks over the 200-day moving average, we've got like a nice little rise of the last few days. If we're looking at the percentage stocks, the T2108, we went from very, very oversold to in the 40s. So that's a nice increase in market breadth. And then the big thing is like you want to really start to see some breakouts happening. So, we always want to track like how many stocks are breaking out versus breaking down. We've started to see these ratios kind of change where really the stocks that are like breaking down, there was a big pop a couple of days ago, but it's been lightening up for the most part. So you're starting to see a shift between breakouts versus breakdown. So, we are seeing an increase in price action. There's a little bit of range that's been happening on the long side. Let's take a look at the PR plays and see like what else is going on. This Indo is popping. Indonesia Energy Corp. Ooh, it's a real blue, a real blue chipper over here, guys. Look, this is gonna have all sorts of range on. This is not my type of play. There's certain markets where I will dive into something like this, but this is just not one of them. It looks hot. I mean, there ain't no getting around it. It's just a matter of, how hot. I think I take a pass personally, but I could see if you were a little down on your luck, maybe your girlfriend broke up with you. This would be something you'd wanna get yourself into, right? It can make you feel pretty good. And Indo Energy Corp. It's going to be the next ExxonMobil. I'll take a pass though for now. Can swings through quarter four earnings, revenue surges. Hey, you know what? This might have a chance. You already got 2 million shares in volume. So like I normally don't like these kind of cheaper stocks, but this one is like not going to be, it won't be so crazy where, you're just getting your balls dusted like every single tick where you're like, oh, fuck, it's a breakout. Oh, shit, it's a knife. Oh, fuck, it's a breakout. Oh, shit, it's a knife. This one will probably move a little bit slower, and you've got yourself a range break here. That's the type of name like, normally you can kind of catch. If you catch it at the right spot, you might get yourself in a little bit of a grinder. And get yourself a nice play, but not really my particular flavor. Hey, Billy just lost widens, revenue rises. Hey, this is a beaten down name. We've seen this kind of pattern actually been playing out a lot the last month or so. Where like some of these beaten down names are having their earnings come out and they've fallen from, they were up so high, right? So you've given back like 70, 80, 90% of your 2001 highs. And now they're announcing earnings, while you're low. This can be actually something that has some follow through on it. It needs to kind of clear out this range a little bit. Billy tends to actually move pretty well. It's got a spread on it. But like this has got a chance. I would add that to the list. I like that one. That's gonna be pretty good. Let's add that. I think that might be 6 windows worthy. AI is another one you can see here. You're announcing earnings today. Like this is a beaten down name. This thing used to be $200. Now, like at 24, I mean, the earnings could be like dog shit, but like it's priced even less than that, right? So now people are sitting there thinking, hey, not so bad. I could put a little cinnamon on this turd, and all of a sudden it's edible, right? It's got to be better than your girlfriend's cooking. This is not too bad. This may have a chance. I'm a little bit worried about the liquidity on it at times. I've traded this thing quite a few times. The liquidity on it can come and go. Let's see how it holds up at the open. This is probably a primetime candidate for an ORB also. I'm liking the look of that. The Russia ETF, this thing is probably due for a little bit of a squeeze also. Man, so this thing was at $25. There's a 3X version of this, I believe. Russell. So if you ever see this thing was like $24. So if Russia starts to if the Russian markets start to squeeze a little bit, and this very well could be like an exhaustion gap, this would be the one to play. The other one will have much better liquidity on it and probably better margin. Yeah. So you see that? I mean, this is like your classic kind of rubber band setup here. You know what? If you start to see a trend set on this, it's probably due for one of those epic kind of 1 or 2 day squeezes. Longer term, this thing is obviously in a big downtrend, but you may actually get something out of this at some point. We'll keep an eye on it. I'm into it for some reason. It's just not going to give you, it'll need perfect range. CHPT had earnings out today. You got a range break on this. This is the right sector at the right time. If you think about all these little battery names, they're starting to set up. You're starting to see a butt plug, a BLDP, all this stuff. See this, you got a 4-day range on butt plug over here. This thing crosses over 25.50, 25.60, and it gets real tight around there. It can go. Now, this is a grinder too, so you have to know what kind of trader you are. If you're I personally, when I take trades, I like them to pop right away, right? $1-2. That's why I trade a lot of the tech stocks. This one, if it goes, it's going to be more it takes a while to get moving. It's a heavy bus, but once it gets rolling, it can get going. It's just a little bit of a thicker stock, I like the overall look of it. I got an alert set. If this thing rips over 25.50, it can go. And I think, when you start seeing all that, right, then you got the CHPT. It's got earnings out. This is going to be fun. Add it. Let's add it. I like that one too. Let's try to keep a little bit of a shorter list today because there's been so much action everywhere. It's been easy to miss stuff. You'll keep a little bit shorter list here. Best Buy retail stock. As you guys know, there's just 3 no-nos in day trading: trading retail, trading airlines, and trading oil. All the worst things to day trade. They are like fine, like when you're swing trading them for the most part, but they just all stink to day trade. And banks, throw some banks in there. And ADRs. Okay, so we're really nailing down. We're really nailing down some of these things. Hey, thanks, Jay. I don't even know what the NAV is, but I'm into it. I don't know what it is, but I'm into it. ITA, Benko, see, this is ADR. So these are all Argentinian, Brazilian companies. Canadian Solar, Strike Steel, supply solar power to steelmaker. I got you. That makes actually a little bit of sense. Not much action on it so far. A lot of these solar stocks have been kind of perking up. Like, see this JKS? Like, this thing was a beast for a few days. Man, it's almost a double, right? 35, 60, 70% gain. The CHCSIQ actually might have a little juice. Not a priority, though, because it doesn't have any liquidity on it. PDD. Jump. Here you can see here, like, see this SE. If we need a short at some point, like, maybe if this kind of takes down this range, we should be good. But it's already come down a lot the last couple of days. It may need an inside day or two. Mr. Terry, what's going on? Jump. All right, cool. So let's take a look and just see what's going on just the regular old stocks. There's quite a few of these bad boys. There's quite a few of these bad boys that are like still hanging out. So this MU has been bucking everything for the last few weeks. You've actually got a breakout sitting up. The range on this was hot yesterday. You've got a week open on this. I think that's like probably a priority. Man, that's hot. They might be right out of the gate. What do you think? Yeah, I think so. I think MU number 1. Crowd's got a level here, so it's been just kind of flagging out for about 2 days, letting the 9 EMA catch up. If it takes out that range, that's numero dos. You're right. You're right, airballs. We got MU number 2. We've got a whole host of these battery names for number 3. A butt plug. You got BLDP here. Both of those got the juice. So you can, add in butt plug. You can add in BLDP. If they start to take out these ranges, those can be pretty good. Now, SQ had this big, see this gap here? This gap here from 94, and then this run to 130 was because of earnings. So they had earnings out. It was an earnings beat, I believe. It doesn't really matter. An earnings surprise, we should say. And now you've had a nice, good old-fashioned pullback over here. That's a good God-fearing fun right here. You got this thing just nuzzled under the 50 SMA. That thing is ready to hot to trot. It's got that UPST type of look. It can't move like UPST, but because the float's much higher, but like it can. UPST's had some really sick range. This is also top of the list. And you were like curling down at 140 by the end of the day. But you were at 160. Like, that's good range right there. You've got a little range break setting up. This gap over here was based on earnings too. This thing has bottomed out now, for sure, or most likely, I should say. But you can see, right, from 400 all the way down, you got this nice bottom on this thing. I mean, I think we see a run to the 200-day moving average on this pretty quickly. The big part for us today is just going to be, don't chase the gap. The open is going to be really tough. Either you have to look for trailers, or you got to hit the first dip on the thing, on the certain names on your watch list. But I think that's also pretty good. So UPST, MU, Squarespace, you got the batteries, and then you've got a handful of these earnings plays. You got CHPT, you've got AI. Woo, these are nice. You got Billy. That's pretty good. On the downside, I did see Snow and some of these names pop up. This thing trades pretty thin. I'm down with it, but the big hairy, Indian butt of it is also, it's going to have a big nasty spread on it. But if we need a short, like we can add in Snow, we can add in Rivian, which was real nasty yesterday. If it breaks under 53-ish, that'll coincide with kind of what's happening on the daily. So like you add in Rivian, add in Snow. That's the list. I'm sticking to it. That is the list. Sticking to it. All right. So let's say we got a little SQ. We got a little UPST. We got a little Snow. We got a little Rivian. That's the list. I'm sticking to it. What do you think? That's a good God-fearing Christian list right there. I'll tell you what. Yes, you could add in the can too. I'm just trying to stick away from small caps, but I do think this one has some juice. This thing's got a little juice on it today. It won't move like some of the other kind of rug pull ones. I think this one will probably move a little bit more steady. AMD's a daily trader for us at this point, so you always keep that on the list. So we got Rivian, Snow. Okay, and then we got to go crowd. It's very natural to have like some all over the place lists. Start just cleaning them out. I last few days I've let mine just get into like such monster long levels. With all the oil stocks and commodity stocks and this stocks running around, narrow it down, into your favorites. So like I always choose six that I'm focused on, and then I have like another 6 in the background. So that'll be like, okay, I have them at the tip. And then what you want to really do is just keep all your stock boxes, next year TC 2000s filled out, have them with the amount of shares that you'd want, in terms of price and things like that. You may have to adjust it slightly depending on the risk. And then you'll be able to trade fast, right? So it's like you got everything, you got your stock boxes ready. And then at the open, then it's just a matter of like, if everything's filled out, then it's just a matter of clicking buttons and you're good to go. And that's how you shred fast. Good. Anybody got any questions? All right. I like it. You know what? This Vive actually probably is going to have some range too. It's just that some of these I worry about the liquidity, especially on the short side. Like I'm trying to chase some of these things down. So you got BJs. Who doesn't love BJs, right? Oh shit. Burlington's at a nice level too. Like these are American Eagles. Like this is actually. We'll come back to these after the open. Let's make sure the liquidity is there. But like these are like some decent range breaks, actually. I think we should be watching them. Big lots. Yeah, I think the Burl and BJ's like probably has probably has some room to go. Cool. All right, let's get the music going and let's do what we do. All right, let's get the 6 windows layouts ready, boys and girls. Let's make sure we got to get everything set up properly. All right, so we got AMD. Snow. Man, Snow could work. I think we got should put AI. CHPT. We do UPST. On the shorts, I've got Snow Rivian SC. We'll put those on the other 6 windows. Okay. And BLDP butt plug or grinder, so that's not really the ideal for the open. That's the list. Let's go. Etsy looks okay too. Looks similar to kind of SQ, right? Kind of that same look for the most part. All right, let's do it, boys. We got some trading to do.